The Human Rights Act is a policy that was introduced to make treatment of humans fairer. The acts include rights like the right to life, the right to education, the right to marry, the right to free elections, freedom of assembly and association, right to a fair trial, no punishment without law.
The policy will affect the police force in different ways. For example, it will not only affect them in their job, it will also affect them personally. Obviously, because it is a new law, it means that they will have to give out punishments if the law is broken, but it will also affect how they can arrest people. The Human Rights Act will also affect police officers because they will have to learn new laws and follow all the rules. For example, the people they arrest have the right to fair trial and also have the right to no punishment without law.
I found a story in the Independent.co.uk about how court fees are a breach of human rights. They believe that to have their right to a fair trial, they have to pay the court fees. However, for the people that can't afford these fees, it encourages them to plead guilty to get a smaller sentence.
Right to a fair trial. This act will affect police officers because it means that everyone that has been arrested has the chance to a fair trial. It gives people who have been wrongly convicted the opportunity to not be prosecuted. Also, this act stops the police being able to arrest anyone for whatever reason. Instead, they actually have to have a valid reason with evidence.
The Act sort of helps the police job role because it helps to lower the number of people who are wrongly convicted or the people that are sent down without a fair trial. However, the Human Rights Act will help the officers outside of their work.
However, the Act will make their job harder because it creates more laws to be broken. Therefore, the police are going to have to investigate more accusations made that are in breach of the law.
The law is justified because it means that people get treated fairer and it stops people being mistreated.
This affects teachers too because the children have the right to an education, so the teachers have to make sure that they carry out the correct education.
Hounslow London Borough Council and School Admissions Appeal for Panel. Hounslow London Borough Council have stopped parents with two siblings of different ages who had the eldest going to a school but the youngest wasn't allowed due to numbers and not being in the catchment area. This impacts teachers' jobs as they have to properly review the application for every student and not be biased because there is another sibling in the same school. They have the right to make an informed decision whether to let the child in.
A person has the right not to be denied access to the education system. This affects teachers as it means that they have to provide access to the institution, given effective education and given recognition of the studies the student has completed.
It makes it easier because they know that they have to teach specific things that they might have the right to learn. It also makes it easier because they know where they stand in terms of the law and how they can affect students' education. It makes it harder because there are so many rules and regulations to do with it because they have the right to do it. Also makes it harder because there may be situations where the law would affect a whole family and split them up.
I think this act is justified because it means that all children are entitled to an education, so they'll end up doing well and having good jobs. If this was not law, then more children wouldn't be educated, so would have bad jobs.
This Act benefits the United Kingdom because we can now do things we weren't able to do, such as having the right to an education and the freedom to speech. People who can't be taken advantage of because there are only certain things people can say/do to get what they want. With the freedom of speech, it means that you can speak up and have your own voice about things and not be in fear of the government for being prosecuted.
Police officers in custody may be challenged under the right to privacy in cases that were alleged that officers have not done enough to protect people who have died in custody. A quote from bbc.co.uk states that these officers will more than likely be brought under Article 2, which is the right to life. This means that now, when people are in custody, they can't be left, and now every hour they check up on people in custody to see if they need anything to drink or eat, or if they need to take any medication. If it is in the evening and it is cold, then you would ask if they would need any extra blankets.
The Human Rights Act of 1998 was created because people wanted more rights to things that they couldn't have and shouldn't have, and at first it was only made for European countries, so when there was a human rights case it would be done in the European country. We made rights to suit our laws.